Who am I to judge? Who am I to deny love? Who am I to try and pick your world apart? But I refuse to be deceived by imposters and the thieves that attempt to gain an entrance in my heart. No, they won't take this ground. They'll be moved now. Maybe learn to love without fear of being judged, without fear of all the world rejecting me. Yeah, I'm taking this ground. No, my words will not fall down. I can see my future breaking through these clouds. Hey, I'm finding out, who am I? Take me as a fool, 'cause I view life different than you. But hold your tongue, don't let it run off with illusions in my path. Yeah, they try to pull me back, but they can't see it, they won't see it, no, telling me to turn around, 'cause I can't take these giants down. But who am I? Young lion, everywhere I look, it's young lion, young lion.
Check now.
Check.
No, ask people.
No, because I got it on. It's on. See, I got,
All right. We're back. Man, we were just
There's a
having
method to my madness.
We were just having a whole conversation,
by
and
ourselves.
nobody could hear us. So we did the whole intro. We were talking about DeMar Hamlin, talking about him going home, and we talking about the whole nation praying for him, which was a beautiful thing. Yeah. Then we were talking about how it was the hypocrisy of Tim Tebow, because people were saying like, NFL. Yeah, because hypocrisy from the NFL, because Tim Tebow was bashed for like praying after every score, yeah. And then we got into the talk about, would they do that if it was a Muslim player? Yeah. Would there be any backlash? Man, I wish y'all would have told us earlier. I wish someone would have commented earlier, like, yo, we had no audio.
In football, though, they always did that, though. They always, praise God. But Tim Tebow was just like so much in the spotlight that it made
because he turned. First of all, he was like an all-star player at that time. He was a superstar player at that time.
Coming out of college,
he was a prospect, and then on top of that, he was very vocal about being a Christian. He was talking about, wasn't he saying he was a virgin at that time?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
if I remember that right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember it was like that was like at the forefront of his whole thing, was talking about Jesus and stuff like that. So,
and he was doing missions.
Yes. So they were very like, there was a bunch of people that were trying to cancel that about him.
Didn't want that to catch on because he had too much star power.
Right.
For that to catch on.
Yeah.
And then we got into the Logan Paul thing where you were talking about someone who just got canceled for making a joke about Islam, a podcaster.
Yeah, True Jordy, I think his name was.
True Jordy. And then I was bringing up how Logan Paul was able to totally bash his friend about being a Christian.
Right. No backlash.
And no backlash at all. It's an interesting dynamic when you see that certain things are off limits. Mm-hmm. And then I was telling everybody to please share this video because the algorithm is not kind to us. We need y'all help to push this message out. So for all the Patreon members, we appreciate y'all. Courtney, I see Emma in there. James, shout out to y'all, man. Please share this video. Please hit the like button. All the people on Twitch, if you're on Twitter, if you're on all the platforms that we're streaming on right now, Facebook, YouTube, hit the like button and share this video. Also, if you want to become a Patreon member, Mom, you can pull this up right now. This is our Patreon right here, Young Lion TV on Patreon. So you can
hold on a second. I'm trying to pull this back down. Oh my God, it's not.
She's struggling.
Struggle bus.
Just slide your finger on the top of the mouse. There we go. Okay, we went good. Also, we got the merch right there for the hoodies and t-shirts.
Eagles fans, that look like Steelers.
Yeah, well, that's one of our to the design.
It's a good deal for a hoodie, man. $46.
Yeah. We got a little track jacket here, a little bomber jacket with the.
What's on the back?
It says "Enter the Pride" with the QR code on the back. Stickers.
Got a muscle shirt from Moan.
That's a woman's shirt. Look, got a little sports bra. Huh? Little sports bra. Yeah.
Damn, we can't even joke like that.
Okay, you can take it down, Mom. Thank you. But no, thank you guys for
some cool stuff in there, man.
Yeah, man. And we got more. Simone is working on some new designs. Oh, wow, Mom. You got it. Now you can take that down, too.
Oh, okay. Going crazy.
And you can see behind us, a couple of the hats came in, the sample hats right here and here. And behind Jake, if you switch it over there, you can see the book bag. It's sitting back there. So we got some stuff. If you guys want to support, if you want to get the merch, it is available. I think the link is in the description on all the places.
Oh, okay, Simone.
Yeah, it looks good.
Courtney said, yes, join the pride. That's right, man. Join the pride.
That looks good, Simone.
There you go. Boom.
My head's small.
I was going to say, you could put the hat right
That's
on.
small.
I would need some adjustment.
Got a big head.
Yeah, it don't look bad. It don't look bad.
It look good.
Don't look bad. You know, little Thundercat vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all. And also, we got the Cash App if you guys just want to throw a little donation, $youngliontv. Hit us up on there. Jatan has been working on a lot of new music. We're working on putting together an exclusive listening party / live show taping, filming for all of the Patreon members especially, but all of our like hardcore supporters, we're really going to be reaching out to y'all to put together an awesome show that we can film and just use as content for the promotion of the new album that we got in the works. We're going to be releasing singles all throughout the year and then leading up to the full album coming out with some bonus tracks and redos of some of the classics. So, you know, we're looking forward to that as well. Anything else y'all could think of that we need to touch on?
It's gonna be a fun year.
It's gonna be a fun year, man. We're all about execution. 2023.
Yeah.
What did God give you for this year?
I was saying disruptors.
Disruptors.
It's funny. I got something this morning about the disruptors. See, then I gotta try to remember.
Yeah.
the disruptors disrupt. I gotta go. Disruptors disrupt. You know what? Forget it.
You got to put it up.
Well, while you're looking for that,
Yeah. I can't think of it.
I feel like this year is about true execution. And for the Young Lions, that means, because there's a lyric in the song about devouring the kingdom of darkness.
That should be on the t-shirt.
Yes.
There we go.
I agree.
Disruptors disrupt life as usual and define love unusual.
I like that.
Send that
That's
to me.
on a shirt too.
Huh?
That should be on a shirt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, also devouring the kingdom of darkness. That's what this year is about. Devouring the kingdom of darkness.
Yeah. Being the light.
Yeah.
And like, even when you were talking about that a little earlier, you were saying, you know, how they came at Tebow.
Yeah.
You know, how they're always coming at but I believe, like, how do we respond? You know, our response is what's key.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that I saw about the Logan Paul thing. That, who's the guy's name? George, right?
George,
His friend?
yeah.
And he was kind of bashing Christianity
Yeah.
They were on his podcast.
on his podcast, yeah. So, and it's been a kind of ongoing thing, but you know,
He got
he's doing that, but like, right? Not who God was when I can't share.
I think when Ruslan did the breakdown, I sent it to you because you gave a whole word about the Spirit of God convicts and the spirit of the devil convinces.
Yeah, it was the language of light is conviction.
Yes.
Is conviction, and the language of darkness is convincing.
Convincing.
The language of light is convicting.
Convicting.
The language of darkness is convincing.
Convincing, right. And
I suck at it.
he even said in that he realized, I can't convince you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And God has to convict you, like, in that
Wow.
way.
Yeah.
And I clipped that and sent it
Yeah,
to Jake.
it was the same day.
Same day you told me about that.
Yeah.
I was watching that, and then
Yeah.
I was like, yo. And then right after that, on Sunday, Tommy Orami gives a whole word about
which is what I talked about on Sunday.
yes, which was interesting.
Yeah, so that's another 2023 thing.
Yeah,
Like, especially for people who are believers, how much have we been trying to convince people of stuff we can't convince them of?
yeah,
And are we really letting God be God in our lives? Are we trying to prove him? You know? So I think that's where we settle. And what gets us tired and almost gets us to quit is all our trying.
our effort to convince. Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you feel like you're not getting, that's what I see on Twitter. That's what I see on Twitter. Is like an endless attempt to convince people with tweets, with articles, with evidence, and none of that works.
Yeah.
None of that works. People don't care. You know that from like when you used to be on your Facebook tirades.
Yeah.
My battles.
Yeah.
Especially emotional people.
Yeah.
You know, like it teaches us how to argue or I don't want to say argue, but defend
Yeah.
in the right way. Because sometimes we don't know. Like we don't know how to reach people.
Yeah.
You know, how do you reach somebody that is living like where are they coming from? That's another thing. Like when people talk, they're coming from somewhere. You know, and he keeps explaining this where we're coming from. Where you come, because when you go there, you settle in that love. You know what I mean? And then when you're coming from that place, you're not proving yourself anymore.
Right.
That's a culture trap.
Yeah, it is.
Keeps you out of that culture trap.
Yeah, and you hear it all the time, especially in the hood. Like, you don't know where you at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's good stuff. So we're gonna get into some modern feminism talk today. We talked about it a little bit. We touched on it a little bit last week with that Vice thing. I showed y'all like a little snippet of it.
Do we have to?
I mean, it's important. It's important. But before we do
gotta
that,
show the traps, man.
yeah. Before we do that, I got some stuff that I'm gonna play. Let me see. Not that. Mom.
For real?
I thought he said okay.
I said, let me see.
Okay.
Where is it?
Come on,
Thank
man.
you for being here, Mom. We love you.
honor your mother and your father.
Thank you, Jay.
Honor the one trying to run the stream.
I'm the one trying.
So we were talking about earlier about my mom was just mentioning how she heard about a new variant that everyone's hyping up of COVID. So we're starting to see articles about this. They're starting to, chum the waters a little bit and get everybody in fear again. But one of the worst propaganda pieces that I saw about this was this clip from Jimmy Fallon that I saw on Twitter, and everyone was just kind of just dragging this dude. So I'm gonna play that for us real quick.
Than Omicron next, but this latest variant might XBB.1.5. Another brand of COVID-19 has arrived. It's a new strain, but it isn't the same. Sounds more like Elon Musk's kid's name. It's XBB.1.5.
Yeah.
UB40 sings red wine. Put on your mask when you're
Yo, I keep looking at the roots. I keep looking at the roots because they're from Philly, knowing like a lot of the same dudes, a lot of these dudes, and being in the same circles. Like,
Just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that.
that's right.
We know how I'm not gonna say all.
That is 1,000%
I'm not gonna
correct.
say all, but a lot of
1,000%,
musicians.
yes.
All right, I'm just getting that
I'm just
check.
getting that check. It's gonna be with that check cleared though. Yeah.
inside a facility. It could be a robot from a Star Wars trilogy. It's XBB.
Okay, you get the point.
Yeah,
It's
terrible. We don't fall for that.
Nah. Sentiment is falling off. People are like starting to be over it.
Yeah.
So they gotta scare you with another variant so you can keep getting boosters.
I know the number was high that didn't get the second or third booster. Like that number was high.
Yeah.
So they're done. People
Some-
are waking up more.
Somebody named Bear Green said, "Let's go, Brandon."
Let's go, baby. I was trying to take a picture. I when I was at the light today, going to the store, the car in front of me had a "Let's Go Brandon" sticker on the back. I was trying to get a picture of it so I could send it to you. But no, I couldn't.
That's
So-
so mean.
Is it?
Why does it mean?
Because we know what "Let's Go Brandon" means.
It's
Okay.
It just
Shared
means
on Brandon.
it just means Brandon. We're all happy for Brandon. Oh, so I wanted to show you guys this Project Veritas. So January 6th just passed. You guys see what's going on in Brazil, by the way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy over there.
What exactly is going on?
They're revolting.
Riots.
Yeah,
well,
anything,
protesting,
like,
not
new?
riot. Well, it's a riot too.
It's just like I think they stormed like their version of the Capitol,
yeah.
and like they were beating up police officers, like all kind of crazy stuff.
Dang.
Yeah, and they're trying to like equate it to
Yeah.
January 6th.
January 6th and Donald
NBC
Trump.
was saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when Donald Trump exports this type of behavior,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Right.
Instead of exporting democracy.
And they want to extradite
I don't
Bolsonaro.
get, yo, like,
Do they?
Yeah, they want. He's in Florida right now, so they want to try to get him kicked out of the country.
But it's just crazy because when Black Lives Matter was burning down buildings and
Yeah.
they were putting bricks down so people could hit. I mean, they don't say nothing about that.
That
they
was
don't
a
say
peaceful
nothing
protest.
about how Donald Trump said don't
Yeah, don't
do it peacefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
Yeah,
people believe what they want to believe.
And more is coming out that, FBI
yep.
informants were there.
We talked about the
Yeah.
Ray Epps thing
Right.
Yep.
last week. So I wanted to show this Project Veritas video that they put out.
Like January 6th.
Undercover video. This is Matthew Rosenberg, who's a journalist for the New York Times, and he's basically talking about what he saw on the grounds there that day. So Project Veritas got another one.
It's like January 6th stuff that is like so over at this point. It's so over. The left's overreaction, the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top. It was like me and two other colleagues who were there, who were outside. And we were just having fun. Dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Matthew Rosenberg is a Pulitzer Prize-winning national security correspondent for the New York Times.
Are you allowed to have that much fun on January 6th? Are you supposed to be mourning?
I know. So if you're traumatized. But like, I mean, all these colleagues who were in the building, little younger, who's like, oh my God, it's so scary. I'm like, oh, God.
Is that really the vibe there?
From them. I'm like, come on. Like, it's not the kind of place I can say tell somebody to man up, but I kind of want to. You're like, dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger. Got in Zolan, got in Adam, Goldman, Sabrina,
Who's inside?
little dweebs who keep going on about their trauma. I'm like, guys, shut the f*** up. I don't know if they wrote about their trauma. This chick named Emily Cochran and this guy named Nick Fandos. They're both like in their 20s. Can we do like part two?
So his
You see, but the problem is he cares.
yeah.
He's phony.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this is the issue that we're having. And that's why like these things come out. But I think we need to learn how to not be triggered by these things.
Yeah.
You know, because like evil's gonna do what evil's gonna do.
Mhm.
And I'm not calling people evil. I mean evil that uses people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's evil people, but I'm just saying that it's more about what's behind it, and we got to recognize that if we keep on falling, even on like the left, right, you keep on, if you're on the right
Yeah.
and you're falling for it, you know, if it gets you emotionally angry, there's a problem.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of what caused the January 6th. That's what gave them all the talking points and gave them all the ammunition, was a bunch of people on the right getting emotional about something and going there and doing dumb stuff.
Yeah. Which was very minimal in terms of
Of course,
what they tried
but
to make it out
they
to
could
be.
they could
But
blow
they
it up.
used
They
that.
used that
Yeah.
minimal thing to
Yeah.
blow it up. You got baited.
To me, it's like when, and I know y'all know what I'm talking about when I bring this up. It's like when you're in soccer and you, especially when you see it on TV, like
Yeah.
a pro game, right? And what they always do is somebody like hurts them, then they'll get in their face,
Mhm.
and the guy will like push him, but he'll like put his hand into his hand. I mean, he'll put his head into his hand and then
Yeah.
like throw
Roll
himself on the
around,
ground
yeah.
like he
Yeah.
just got punched in the face.
Right.
Like and then they're like doing this,
Right.
trying to get a card.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Every time.
It's trying to provoke you to an
Yeah.
action, and the slightest action from you, I can make it seem
like worse
it's
than
huge.
it is.
Yeah.
That's just annoying to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It
Because
doesn't make me mad. It's like I'm more annoyed.
because it's
But
wizardry.
but even that, you got to get past annoyance. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, but doesn't that though, like, you know, like you feeling a certain way will cause you to, you know, stand up for yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it should. Like, you like if you see it and you hate it because you hate what's evil, yes, you should feel something. But what I'm saying is your response has to be in wisdom.
right. So, like, I'm gonna use an
'Cause-
example. Project Veritas.
Yeah.
He's annoyed and he doesn't like that. So he's, you know, he creates Project Veritas. James O'Keefe creates Veritas to combat,
to expose it.
to expose evil.
Yeah.
You know, because he felt a certain way about it.
Right, but I'm not talking about like I'm just saying like for us it's another level. Like yeah, that's what people do. Like
Yeah.
to me Project Veritas is that's what people do that are in the world type thing. Like
that's how they
That-
that's
yeah.
their response
Yeah.
to something.
Yeah, I know there's a spiritual aspect of it.
Well,
though,
it's gotta
but
be
this
exposed,
is,
too.
This is good too.
yeah,
you
but
know.
it's not it's exposed. Like true exposure is when we expose because light exposes darkness. That's like a greater. That's when people are focused on the light. Like what I'm saying is that when all the things that seem real, all the things seem real, but when you focus on the real, when you actually see the real thing and it's right there, there's no denying it. That's the real exposure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to get to that, like for us as believers, that's where I believe, like even what I said earlier about disrupting, like that's where I think we need to get to.
Right.
And in order to do that, it's when you feel those emotional responses, you know, you feel that, but it's okay, digging into God. Like how can I move in this way? How can I what do you want me to do here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How can I grow from this? Where's the solution at? Because the solution is where the light is.
Yeah, but you're looking out. There's still a utility to things like this because
Oh, absolutely. I'm not. No,
Yeah,
I'm
because
not,
maybe God has used, you know, James O'Keefe too
But not even just that. What I'm saying is everybody's at different places. So for some people, seeing something like this is that spark that sends them in the path to understand the deeper truth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is that I'm just taking it to that next level. There's like if you settle there,
Yeah.
that's my point. Like there's so many people that say they're Christians, you know, like say they're believers, but they think that God's exposing is just that.
Right.
And that's not it.
God's
That's not really it.
God's gonna put
Well,
all
it's
the
a part of it, though.
Democrats in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that it's a part of it because he used Babylon to come against Israel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a part of it, but that's not the plan.
Right.
The plan is for Israel to shine. That's why Jesus had to come. That's my point. Like, the ultimate point is not to do that because grace doesn't want to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, grace doesn't want to expose. Grace wants to love people enough to, no matter what you're doing, you give them an opportunity to see it. And when you have the truth there and it's shining in front of you, a lot of people will turn.
But if this stuff
but there
never
will be-
goes on, then
Yeah.
you won't see on a basic level.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's certain people that need things like this.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
I mean, I'm saying even believers. Like there's levels. You know what I'm saying? There's levels.
Yeah, but
There's levels for how
there's-
deep your understanding is.
But-
If you're at a surface level, if you're just I've accepted Jesus, I'm
That
a
can
Christian,
ignite that.
but I have no clue about anything that's happening in the world. There's still I
get what you're saying. God uses everything,
Mhm.
and He uses everybody. You don't even have to be Christian. You're used by God.
Right.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if we're just looking at that, then we'll miss it. I'm saying if we have to take ourselves to the next level, you know, as believers, because if we just stay there and like, oh yeah, God's exposing that and that's where it is, and that stuff has to happen more. I don't think that's the ultimate goal. Like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's not. It's obviously
I mean,
not the ultimate
obviously
goal.
it's not. You know,
The ultimate goal is for.
It's not obvious because most people get stuck there. That's my point.
I mean, that's what Jamie is saying.
Most
like
people get stuck a lot of
people
places
at
you know what I
different
mean?
levels.
There's
you know,
and people get stuck on all levels. You know what I mean? Like there's people that get stuck in many different levels of going deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. So we have to. There's people who have to take it further.
Right.
Who's going to take it further? Yeah, people get stuck.
Yeah.
But it's good. It takes somebody's got to believe enough to make it plain. Somebody's got to, you know, somebody's got to take it further.
Right.
That's my point.
People
Like,
do need that. Here's the mistake you made. Don't make it again. And this is how.
Or this is where you were tricked. This is where you were blinded.
Yeah.
This is where you compromised on something because this sounded like a good idea because of what they offered you, but it was actually a compromise.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
You sometimes you have those things need to be pointed out for people,
Absolutely.
but they do need to be guided to the deeper thing.
But I'm saying who's going to step up and be the mercy that nobody can be?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Or who's going to walk in that mercy? Because it's Jesus who's the mercy. But I'm saying who's going to walk in that mercy? That's what I want to see. That's what I'm looking towards.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think
so you get to be that.
And I think challenging people. That's what I'm saying. I'm challenging people to not just be there,
Not
but
to just
go
stay there.
further.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you're not going to see it if you just stay there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but that's what teaching is, though. Teaching is about, all right, you understand with anything, with soccer. You have to start at a fundamental place, and then you say, okay, you got that now. Let me show you why you're doing that and what needs to be further taught. That's what teaching is. It's about bringing people.
But there's levels to even how you teach. Like, if you can skip a whole bunch of levels if you have an amazing teacher.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's my point. Like, you don't have to do the things.
That's what teaching is, though. That's why teaching is there.
Right.
You know what I mean? To help people get beyond those levels.
Yeah.
All right. Let me read Bear Green's comment real fast.
Bear Green.
I don't. Is the emoji? The picture is a bear, a grizzly bear. Completely agree. They got baited into the problem. They were frustrated and angry that the election was stolen. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, and people were very mad about that. I mean, my mom was one of them who
That's why that sent her, into
my
the
mom
conspiracy.
was on them QAnon websites.
Honor your mother.
And the thing
Honor
is,
your
though,
mother.
that at that thing, like they got baited too. Like he said, they got baited. But it turns out there's video proof of it. I mean, Jake Lang, I seen today. He's one of the prisoners that's been there for like 700 and something days.
Yeah.
I think it is. And with no trial.
Yeah.
He's getting pushed back. But he has documented where the Capitol Police were actually beating people up.
Right.
Without being antagonized.
Right.
So a group of them defended the people that they were attacking.
Mhm.
Older
but
women.
But the cameras
They were attacking older women.
and the
stuff.
media shows
Wow.
it a certain way.
Certain way,
Which there are, and that's the other thing. Like, there's certain aspects of this government that you see starting to be like tyrannical that you have to be able to call out. You know what I mean? You have to be able to call that out. Especially, like, I don't know if you guys heard about them finding the classified documents in Biden's possession.
Yep, I heard that. 6 years.
Yeah,
They
since he
done
was the VP.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they knew about it since November.
Right. They found out about it
Before
in November, but they didn't say anything about it because of the election. But we know a couple weeks before that, Trump's Trump's place got raided by the FBI. So it's
for
like
the same reason.
when you
but
see
quote
but they
unquote.
said that it was because Trump's wasn't as much. They didn't look into it as much as I mean, Biden's wasn't as much as Trump's. That's why they didn't
But
look into it. They're making excuses.
That's the trap. It's only the president has the authority to declassify.
right.
How did he get declassified documents.
No,
he
he shouldn't have them
at all. So that's a crime in itself.
The problem is the weaponizing of the federal government and these federal agencies against the mainstream, the deep state's enemies. You know what I mean? The problem is that when you see that happening in government, in our government, it's like we need to know these things are going on so that we can start knowing what to fight against.
Yeah. What to look for. How did that happen? Who was in charge at the time? Well, how did he get that?
Right.
Why?
Right. And then you know that Merrick Garland is the one that's
ordered the raid,
but he's also
the one that covered that up technically,
and the one who's upset because he didn't get made a Supreme Court justice when Obama was on his way out, and then Trump appointed 3, so that made it even more of a So I mean,
in their webs,
it's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. But I also agree with you. Like, you can't just stay.
You can't live there.
You can't live in that realm of like conspiracy and the government and all this thing. But you.
Yeah. I mean, there's no solutions there. Like, there's like you can see everything and see how it's flawed. But how do we change things?
I mean, there is ways to understand how government works better and learn where you've been like kind of just blinded.
That's my that's my point. Like, we got to see, like, when you start taking away or giving away responsibility, and you don't want to do the basic things for your life, and then you give it away. Well, this is what happens. You know what I mean? So now we have to get back to how do we solve these problems?
Right.
How do we,
Right. And learning, like, okay, these are all the places that I have been like just totally oblivious to how things work and okay with people just doing it for me. And
not like, think about it. The Congress, Senate, everything they've been doing is to take away power little by little.
Yeah.
Right.
From the people.
And we've been letting them.
Yes.
And the news outlets, they give you the story.
Yeah.
They give you what they give you what to believe.
Right.
Believe this. Think this way. Here are the experts.
Right.
So that's where you're putting your focus. And even if you don't agree, like, you're still putting your focus there because now you got to attack it. Which a lot of times you don't. It's just like, all right, let's get the solution and let's put that. That's my point. Let's get the solution and let's start putting that into play. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you need prayer.
Yeah. Yeah. I had this clip from Scalia where he was talking. It's along those lines because everybody knows, I'm sure, and for those that don't know, Kevin McCarthy was.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah, he was voted in as Speaker.
The 17th time, right?
No, I think 15. It was the 15th. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the thing was, there was a lot of holdouts from people that were actually trying to fight for what a lot of people wanted, what a lot of people in America wanted. So the fact that they were doing that, of course, like the other side of the aisle is showing it like the Republicans are in disarray. It's a civil war, And again, like a lot of the Republicans, I don't trust. But the fact that they did that showed that they were trying to fight for something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Scalia kind of broke it down. I'm going to play this clip right here.
The Europeans look at the system and they say, well, it passes one house, it doesn't pass the other house. Sometimes the other house is in the control of a different party. It passes both, and then this president who has a veto power vetoes it, and they look at this and they say, it is gridlock. And I hear Americans saying this nowadays, and there's a lot of it going around. They talk about a dysfunctional government because there's disagreement, and the framers would have said yes. That's exactly the way we set it up. We wanted this to be power contradicting power, because the main ill that beset us, as Hamilton said in the Federalist, when he talked about a separate Senate, he said, yes, it seems inconvenient, but inasmuch as the main was.
Facts.
So unless Americans can appreciate that and learn to love the separation of powers, which means learning to love the gridlock, which the framers believed would be the main protection of minorities, the main protection. If a bill is about to pass that really comes down hard on some minority, they think it's terribly unfair. It doesn't take much to throw a monkey wrench into this complex system. So Americans should appreciate that, and they should learn to love the gridlock. It's there for a reason.
But there is McCarthy and like trying to get people have gotten past was to defund. He knows that that's not.
If I remember, they already got that by him.
They probably already spent that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's
But I was happy to see all of those times he couldn't get elected.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I was happy. Too. Like it was good to see that. It was good to see people fighting and standing up for something.
I was listening to Steve Deace, and he just pointed out that if the red wave would have happened, that wouldn't have happened.
And that's what that's
what
why
he was
that's why he dismissed them at first.
Yeah.
A lot of the Freedom Caucus people, he totally dismissed them.
But one of the biggest things that he said that we need to pay attention to is it's connected to emotions and people being people not being in control of their emotions, and people being impatient, people wanting things now. People, like, you got to see the progress.
Right.
Like, that's what you were saying. You know, it's the progress. It's the little things. Because those are that's how you win the battle or the war, really. You know, those are the little battles.
Yeah.
You win them as you, and that's my point. Like, when we keep our eyes on the goal, you know, trusting in God and not caught up in the little things where, oh, they're doing this or they're doing that. I can't believe, like, that's where we lose, because then we get thrown off. But if we keep on going, like, no, we're going to keep fighting for this. We're going to keep on pressing, you know. More people are going to raise up. More people who would never be in the Senate or in the House, you know, Congress.
And that's what they're trying to prevent.
Right.
Because it's such a good old boys club. It's such a club of like these long life rhinos and Democrats that all work together for the same cause with the false sense of fighting each other. So they don't want these young blood in there that are gonna actually stand for something.
And that's my point, is that it's inevitable if you continue in hope.
Thanos, baby.
Thanos.
I am inevitable.
but it's the opposite. It's the
opposite. Yeah.
Because Thanos means death.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
But it's
Death to that.
Yeah.
That system.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It'll come down. But more people have to see it and be like, yeah, we need to start stepping up. Yeah, we got to be responsible.
Let me read this comment. Shout out to Bear Green again. He said, I was just sitting here scrolling on my phone and found you guys. Refreshing to see educated people speaking the truth about this country and the Lord instead of this evil I see on the internet. Bless you, my friends. Hey, appreciate you.
Nice.
Appreciate you, man. Listen, if you feel like it, share this video. I know it's hard to share these type of conversations sometimes because you don't want people coming at you in the comments. But if you feel so inclined, share this, hit the like button. Also, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. And listen, we got a Patreon if you really like this. We're trying to get people to support it so we can do it more often and get this thing really rolling. We are the Young Lions, by the way, so we appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, I wanted to show y'all this other video from James O'Keefe that came out. Not yet, Mom. Not yet. I will tell you. I will tell you.
On it.
You know, a lot of
You
these
spilling all your beans?
You gotta feel like
Job that's affecting
yes, yes.
I was gonna say, you know this.
Yes, exactly.
right.
And that's what does it to him. All right, let's play this real quick. All right, I'm ready, Mom. I'm ready. Okay.
When somebody is naturally immune, like they got COVID, they probably have better, like not better, but more antibodies against the virus. Because what the vaccine is like I said, that protein that's just on the outside. So it's just one antibody against one specific part of the virus. When you actually get the virus, you're going to start producing antibodies against like multiple pieces of virus. And not only just like that outside portion, like the inside portion, the actual virus. So your antibodies are probably better at that point than the vaccination.
So I'm well protected?
Yeah.
Like as much as the vaccine?
Probably more.
How so? Like how much more?
You're protected most likely for longer, since it was a natural response.
We're like bred and taught to be like vaccine is safer than actually getting COVID. You cannot like talk about this like in public. If you have antibodies built up, like you should be able to prove that you have those built up.
I mean, I still feel like I work for like an evil corporation. Basically, our
Yikes, you fired, bro.
organization is run on COVID money now.
Oh god, I signed the NDAs against it.
You fired, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we know all this.
We
though.
know all
Like
this.
there was other people that was caught.
And then Dr. Switch, now she's all in on natural immunity.
Because something happened to one of her kids, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think like her masking one of her kids, something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now she's all
Yeah, she
gung-ho.
was talking about how like linguistically
Yes.
it affected
It
him.
affected him, yep.
Yeah.
So, and then there's another video, one of the guys that was in that clip, and he drops another little bombshell. And this is going to tie into DeMar Hamlin and a lot of these other
Which
things.
is in those studies that they tried to hide.
Exactly. That Neil deGrasse Tyson seems to not know nothing about.
Right.
Shout out to George. X.
What up, George?
And June is watching.
And June.
Croce is a senior associate scientist with Pfizer. He goes on to explain a test that is currently taking place at Pfizer, not to determine the effectiveness, but to see if it is leading to heart attacks.
I'm glad you didn't get any myocarditis.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a concern, right?
Yeah. More so for younger people.
Like
young hot thing. And she just
normal person just say heart attack or
Yes,
something. Why?
yes.
Maybe because it's that farmer world.
maybe.
That's normal to them.
But I'm going to play this again because he said something very, very important right here.
That's a concern, right?
Yeah. More so for younger people.
Why?
More so for younger people. What have we
Yeah.
been seeing?
Mm-hmm.
What have we
Younger,
been seeing?
just collapsing.
That's what we're looking into right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So they're looking into it, but they're not telling anything.
Nope.
Telling us.
Yeah, we're doing data troponin levels.
Yeah.
To see if it's vaccine based or so.
What's it look like?
I don't know. We just sent that over this past week, and the last batch will be sent over next week. All external testing. We'll see. Hopefully it's good.
Well,
Because I mean, if not, then my opinion that might pull something from the market.
Chris Croce.
You think
It's
they're
in
gonna
the military system.
Yeah.
They don't need to see anything. They have.
You know how it goes.
like here like
No.
you have
DeMar Hamlin.
Bills player. You can't be like, oh well then hope this we as
It's tragic for
And-
the world. And, bro, that's a prime example of prayer working. dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen, in all of my years of watching sports football, I've never seen analysts just stop in the middle. I'm gonna say a prayer, and they all bow their heads and they pray on national TV.
Damn, they did that?
They did
I
that.
didn't even know that.
On
Wow.
ESPN.
Yeah,
too.
Wow.
on ESPN, and they allowed
Yeah.
that to happen, and that was like the whole world was.
They canceled a damn NFL game.
Yes.
That's millions and millions of dollars.
And all of them kneeled. Every knee had to kneel.
Do you guys see them trying to cancel Skip over his tweet?
What he tweet?
Skip
I don't know.
Bayless?
yeah,
No.
because he basically said in his tweet like are they gonna continue playing?
No. So I think it was taken. I think it was misconstrued. I honestly do. I think.
I mean, but when you read it,
no,
like it.
No, it doesn't.
What was
it doesn't.
his tweet? I didn't.
It doesn't. You know what? I'm gonna pull it up. But him and Shannon Sharp got into it. I know that became like a viral little.
They always get into it. Like they got into it bad when he was talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah, I saw that, but it was like that level.
Oh
yeah. Let me see. Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless tweet. See if it comes up. Cause I'm telling you, it wasn't that. Oh, so here it is right here. Now he had already been tweeting. He had already been tweeting about other stuff before that, like saying the rest of this game. But how this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant, is amazing.
But I'm saying,
what do they like him?
Yeah,
but he's a troll, you know. And I think he's asking a question before it was
why
time.
does he even have to? Like, that's my like. Why can't you just shut up?
You're right. Because he can't. Because that's what that's. I
mean, dude,
because
you're doing it to yourself. That's my point.
It's made him money.
Yep.
You know, and he has to cause, friction.
So
like
are you subservient to that?
Yeah,
you are. He is.
You are.
He is.
And that's why you're being canceled for it.
Well,
they're trying to.
That's why you miss things when your focus is on the wrong things. He's so focused on feeling like he has to say something, that he doesn't realize, like, I don't gotta say nothing.
Yeah.
You said enough. You didn't have to say it.
All right. I had a bunch of clips of people passing. You guys saw the news interviewer that had like a stroke like on air.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she was.
You didn't see it?
Was it a lady?
I saw the anchor from Canada.
This lady?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought that,
no,
not that other one that you.
Well, people we spoke with say they were happy that something is being done, but this is something that they've been asking for since day one. So for them, this is about 1,000 days too late. Now, Nariman, looking at after the day, families are pushing the feds to. Sorry, Nariman, I'm not feeling very well right now, and I'm about to.
Okay, we'll come back to you right now, and we'll make sure that Jessica, you are doing okay. Thank you. All right.
So do we know?
And there has been clips that college basketball player that just collapsed, like young dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was Old Dominion, right? We were just there.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. This guy right here.
It's a nice.
This guy right here, Mom, pull this up. Just collapsed on the field out of nowhere, like was literally just. I don't know if it shows the whole clip.
There's
right here, right here.
Green, right?
That's him right there, number 3. Holt grabs his chest, and just falls down. Yeah.
Is he all right?
I don't know. I haven't gotten an update on this dude yet.
I think they said that he went home with the team.
So. Oh yeah, he did. That's right. That's right. No, this one was somebody, I forget where this was, but he was talking about vaccines.
Jesus loves me the most. Seriously. So nice. So nice.
And they think it's part of the act. They think it's one thing. Because this ties into it. So, evaluated and treated early and aggressively, including with medication for kids as young as 12 and surgery for those as young as 13, according to new guidelines released Monday. So,
what type of surgery?
Say, no, we never forced it. It was just a guideline.
Dude, they want your children.
Yep.
They locked them inside surgery. We want to put them on medication
and cut you up.
No,
I know. And it goes along with this video
like
right here.
Grow out of it though.
This is from Libs of TikTok. Moan kept saying like, "Yo,
Hey, hey,
who is what lady with the glasses?" So this is interesting because this is one of those everything is racist moments.
This is not like racism, it is racism. Anti-fatness is rooted in anti-blackness. And the reason why people are pursuing thinness is because they're pursuing proximity to whiteness. The reason why people hate fat people is because people hate black people. And appearing curvier, bigger is associated with blackness, especially black women. And that's why they're discriminated in the workplace, overly sexualized. And this has gone back for centuries and centuries. All systems of oppression, capitalism, sexism, racism, it all comes back to white supremacy, which is the foundation of the fabric of America and rules every sector and aspect of our society.
Yeah.
This is not like racism.
So,
it is.
Well, go somewhere else.
So
the mind is an amazing.
It's amazing
how you can, imagine and put things and connect things
only
together
in a privileged society.
I just want to, because she said this goes back centuries where overweightness is connected to blackness, right? So I got some images here from throughout the decades.
Show me some fat.
Can you pull this up, Mom? And let's see some. They're just all overweight. Look at that overweight. Come on now, like what is she talking about? Like all of the trees where it's so you're connected.
You gotta. It's still white supremacy though. Remember the Indian girl that was blaming white people for bringing the flour?
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
It's not your choices,
right? Because if it wasn't for white people, she wouldn't be overweight.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. This is what college is doing to people. This is what it's teaching them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it like that, the feminist movement, especially right now, all this stuff, racism stuff, especially right now, all of it is to get people to not be productive in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the thing, like, because it keeps you focused on things that ain't gonna do nothing for your life.
Right.
You're gonna be walking around trying to prove yourself your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only do that because you've been given a platform to even do that. It's because you've been given a foundation. You know what I mean? Like, but once that foundation goes away, you realize you can't do it no more.
Yeah.
Only reason why you can do it is because of privilege.
That is true. All right, so let's get into this feminism. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the Vice clips?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about it last week. Vice did a panel for modern feminism, and apparently they claim that they brought in various views from women, but it turns out they brought in one view and then a couple dissenters
and then two
that were just argued down the whole time and like yelled at and screamed at.
The one black girl in the middle who was like weird with it.
Yeah.
Like because she didn't agree with abortion.
Yeah.
But then she went hard on the black woman thing.
Yeah, of course, because that's where she identifies.
Right.
Is that the one you showed? Did you show that?
I showed a little clip of it last time.
Right.
And of course, just pearly things and man, it's the Australian girl's name.
I don't remember.
I forget. But they both did other videos breaking down, and I remember she was saying, Sydney Watson, she was saying that that even what they showed was nothing compared to what it was like really there, and like the craziness that these women, like she talked about that one clip where she said, you know, I'm bored with listening to you guys because you're just going so far off topic. She said it seems like she's saying that out of context because they completely cut out the long rant that everyone went on before that, where they just started getting in the weeds about whose identity was worse than the others. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's so much that we didn't see.
Right.
You know.
Which is good that they come out and talk about this.
Yeah.
They show you because they try to make it like it's just one flowing thing, but
Yeah,
it's not.
It's not. It's so edited. She said they probably filmed for like 4 hours, and you know it ends up being a 45-minute clip.
Even what I'm showing, I cut little things out.
Right.
Because you know certain things didn't matter.
Yeah. All right, let's play it. Okay, I got no audio. Hold on a second.
As long as the human race exists, feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're going to have to strive and work towards to make sure that there's equality. So feminism is not dead.
I don't know that it can die. As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people fighting for equity. And until that somehow goes away, feminism is alive and well.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism is really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
That's Pearl.
I think feminism is also alive and well. There are different kinds of feminism, right? Like, that is obvious. And for me, as a womanist, as a Black feminist, right, as someone who's really thinking about human rights, dignity, right, equity, right, as long as that need isn't met, we're still gonna keep fighting.
Similar to what Pearl just said, I find that a lot of feminist ideology and thought today feels more of like a supremacist movement rather than something that is supposed to be advancing the goals of equality. I don't think that we can really term what's going on as feminism because it looks so different to, I think, the earlier feminist movements. So in that way, I would say it's taken its last breaths of life. It's dying.
I think America's a little obsessed with themselves, and it's like always feminism is rooted in America. And like, oh, white women started it. And it's kind of offensive because for thousands of years, women have been dying.
Just want to point out, Sydney Watson called this girl Jingle Jangles because of what she was wearing. But she was saying that the biggest one that they cut out the most was her. Because she was so unhinged the whole time. Even that part where she was like cackling, she said there was like, she went on a tirade, like just everyone was like, what is wrong with her? They totally cut that out.
To be honest with you, I think she got a demon.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. She definitely, I mean, you can see, look at the pause right there. Like there's something in those eyes, boy. And she also said that she constantly kept bringing up the fact about how terrible America is. You know what I mean? So there's something there too.
For their rights.
I think as a Black woman specifically, when you talk about feminism, first thing you think about is a certain type of feminism that tends to exclude.
What you mean?
Is that the same person? Just with I'm sorry.
Still, even today, even with intersectional feminism, exclude African American women, and it's always kind of done that. And also, like, upper middle class white women has predominantly been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism.
I think feminism is attempting to.
I don't agree with that. I feel like Black women get used for feminism a lot. She's trying to say
you can't say anything because you're not a Black woman. All right.
That's another thing that was annoying because I watched this whole thing. Did you watch this whole thing?
I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
How many times did they say as a like?
That's why I wanted to show this first part because the way they started, they're all just doing themselves.
Right. They're talking about from my perspective.
They can't be
my experience.
They can't be objective.
Yeah.
When they speak, they're always speaking personally, and that's what's frustrating about it because they don't even see that. They don't get that.
Yeah.
You know.
And then the funny thing was when Pearl actually spoke from her personal experience as an athlete when they were talking about the trans athlete stuff.
Yeah.
That's when they totally just trashed her. Like.
Right.
Say, okay, the first thing we agree on is that there are barriers and friction to what I need and what I want based on the fact that I'm a woman. What it ignores is that, and what privilege is that you may not have to think that being a woman and being a Black woman and being a Black woman who has a disability, for example, impacts you further. You have more barriers, you have more friction, you are less able to get what you want. You're undervalued in a way that's like, okay, well, you know, that's life. That's what I mean by equity.
She's a disabled woman. So that means she has more of a right to be a feminist than any of them, if you understand the hierarchy of intersectionality.
Right.
So you see, like, what's at play here. Look at how it's not fair.
Yeah.
And you have to make it fair for me.
Right.
And it's not productive.
It constantly puts you in a place of victimhood and puts you, like, how many videos have we seen of, I've seen videos of people that have no limbs. And they are in there cooking food, going to work, driving, like figuring it out how to do everything with their mouth. You know what I mean? Like that's triumphant.
Yeah. And what all this does is get you to focus on what's not happening for me. That's like, it's what I got to make sure it's happening for you because I got to make sure it's happening for me.
Right.
That's how we view everything. We're missing you can't be thankful.
Yeah.
You can't be hopeful.
Right. You can't be appreciative. You honor nothing.
Yeah. You said the main word. There's no honor.
Yeah.
No honor.
Yeah.
You deserve the honor. That's the outlook.
Honor me because of my victim.
Honor me.
My level.
Deserve it.
I'm Super Saiyan 4 level victim. You can't. You have to honor me. And the funny thing is, the whole time through this thing, Pearl keeps asking them, like, well, what are the barriers that women can't? What? Give me some examples of what women can't do that men can do. And then they keep, like, she keeps pointing back to, well, as a disabled woman, I can't. And he's like, no. And Pearl kept saying, like, no, I'm talking about between men and women. Between men and women, like take out the disabled part of it. Like, I understand you're disabled, and there comes hurdles with that, no pun intended. But we're talking about what can women not do that men can do.
Right.
You know?
It goes back to the happy wife, happy life, because that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Number one, happiness is subjective, right? It's literally like
and it's fleeting.
However it's
fleeting.
Feel like you can be happy one moment and literally the next moment, a few minutes later, you're not happy anymore.
Right.
All it takes is for somebody to say the wrong thing or whatever, especially if you got that outlook.
Right.
And it actually will cause people to be in bondage to serve you. And I think that's the problem, because like she's disabled. She needs help, right? People need help. She could figure out how to do things herself if she really tried. But I'm saying there's got to be a sense of empathy. But you don't have the right to make me feel bad for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's where you're going too far.
Yeah.
Like because then it's not genuine.
It's not genuine.
That's the point.
Right.
It's got to be genuine, or else we're manipulating how we feel about people.
And that's where you get all the virtue signaling from.
Right.
All right, let's keep going.
I think there's a lot of benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like, honestly, I think as a girl, you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits. Like, for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah, I would say it's easier being a girl.
Just from a viewpoint over here, though, it seems there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying, and that you're white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present in a way that beauty standards have accepted. And so
they call me ugly on the internet all the time. They be roasting me daily, I swear to God.
I don't mean to say I think you're gorge. I just mean that there a certain value that we give to certain bodies.
I mean, let's also dig into why these quotas exist and why these, what you're calling
because
privileges
we want special treatment.
No, it's because there have historically and presently in most jobs been fewer women, and because of sexism.
And there's fewer women on this panel because you're sitting there.
It's crazy.
This is one of the things that cracks me up about this is like no one's going to point out like, yo, you're taking the spot on the panel of an actual biological woman.
And she's learned how to speak like a woman.
Yeah, right.
You didn't sound like a woman.
Yeah. The caricature of a woman. The caricature of a woman.
Like, not even a woman, a white woman in America.
Valley woman, because that's not even all.
California.
Yeah.
You look like an anime to me.
Or a
when we have no barriers today. So we can
Who
pick
has
what
no
we want to
barriers?
pick.
Doesn't have barriers. Women don't have barriers?
Women, yeah. What's
We have
stopping
no
you? You can do
barriers.
whatever you want. What's
I
stopping
can
you?
or you can?
What's stopping you? As a woman.
As a woman.
She had to clarify that. Bro had to clarify that real quick. She said, what's stopping you? I mean, as a woman.
Ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability. So there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, as I said before,
Right. You're differentiating yourself from the pack. This is about men versus women. It has nothing to do with
disability.
Yeah, because if a man has disabilities, he's in the same boat as you.
But see, this is the intersectionality thing that they have to bring in.
Yeah.
Because it's been taught. So you'll see them over and over again bringing this stuff in.
Right.
Because without it, they don't have any real
They
power.
have no argument.
Yeah.
You're speaking for yourself.
You're speaking as an
able-bodied
able-bodied
white woman.
I
that is
understand.
white.
Presents white.
Of course, there's going to be other barriers if you're disabled. I'm sure.
See, they've already
Like, I'm
settled.
not-
They've already settled it that she has no right to talk. But,
Yeah.
But because we're in this situation, we let you talk.
Right.
But you really don't have
really
no right
don't
to
have
talk.
because you're an able-bodied woman who I love the term presents white.
Right.
Presents white. Like that. I love that term because they always pick and choose. Like Meghan Markle is a black woman.
Yeah.
Does she not present white?
Yes, she does.
You know what I'm saying? Does she not? Like, what does that mean?
But you know what? You know why? Because you got to get into these technicalities when you realize that your logic don't make no sense.
Right.
So now you got to go deeper and deeper into the hole.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about as a woman.
So you're just going to ignore
White
the
women
pay
have it
gap.
easier. Yes, I would agree.
What?
You're just going to ignore the pay gap, regulation over bodies.
The pay gap has been disproven and debunked
The pay gap doesn't
endlessly,
exist.
my friend.
It doesn't. It's the industries that women pick.
Let's talk about it.
There's a pay gap, but it's because
I also want to point out that the K-pop member over there, something else Sydney Watson said in her breakdown of this thing was that there was a whole back and forth where she called this person out for some scandal that they were involved with that had something to do with like underage boys or something like that, and it had something to do with drugs. Allegedly, I don't remember all the details, but she broke it down in the video, and they cut that completely out as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
women don't want to do the hardest industries.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that's an oversimplification. I think the fact of the matter is that women structure their lives differently to men. Men don't give birth. Men don't have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver most of the time. Women also don't hold jobs for as long as men do. They often will stop and start. They'll go back into work. They'll take time off. They'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
Two things. First of all, let's dig into why they think that they should take these jobs, which is societal sexism. And then also,
how do you just make that claim? How do you just make that claim?
Yeah, where you getting it? Where you
Because
citing this from?
she's saying women choose different jobs than men. This is a fact. And actually, there's been those studies done in the Scandinavian countries that are the most egalitarian countries in the world, where they have the same opportunity.
And that's okay.
But to say that
nothing wrong.
it's to say that, well, why do they pick those different jobs? Just because, like, what? How? Like, where are you just going to make that statement?
Women don't want to be bricklayers.
Exactly.
Very few.
Who is the ones like laying the sewer work around the cities that you guys live in to go get your chai lattes on the weekends? Who's the ones down there making sure you got plumbing? Who's the ones running the cable?
Female. Well, we can't even say female.
Right. Presenting female.
actually, Department of Labor, all statistics, at least speaking in the U.S., have found that when compared for the same jobs, there still is a pay gap, particularly when it pertains to race.
Because 60% of women have never asked for a raise. So how can you complain about...
And women take maternity leave, and women tend to work less hours than men. It's just like these are factors that they don't ever talk about.
What happens when women ask for a raise?
I think life is easier.
Okay. Man, I don't know how they handled this panel, boy.
From a working class background of Dominican immigrant parents. My mother would not necessarily identify as a feminist. I look to my mother and I do think of her as a feminist. A lot of my ideas and my empowerment comes from seeing her like survive and put food on the table. When I'm
Here's
thinking
what's
about
interesting.
feminism,
She says she comes from working class parents.
Yes.
But then she only brings up her mother.
Her mother.
And is that because it's like, I was trying to think like,
Is her father
did
not
she-
in the?
Right. Did her father, did she not?
Right.
News to me. Yeah.
always thinking about who's not part of the conversation. What are the barriers? How do we think about equity? How do we think about self-empowerment and agency and having a voice, right? And having choice and thinking about our basic human rights, education, access to health, homes, like having bread.
Okay, stop right there.
You have all that.
Education the way you want. But I'm saying, like, what I'm saying in education is they want the education that they think they need to put in. I'm saying from her view.
Oh, okay.
You understand? The medicine, like, you're not talking about health in the way, like, as just a general thing. They're thinking about it in the way they're thinking about abortion.
Right,
You get,
right.
Which is not even a health thing.
That's wizardry in itself.
That's what I'm saying.
Calling that women's health.
They're calling these things education. They're calling these things health.
Right.
But it's really not that. It's, no, I want things the way I want it because
Right.
I've been told these things.
Yeah.
A lot of us here know that we need. It's like there are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore.
They keep saying barriers constantly.
That are very much systemic and microaggressive, right? We see.
Dude, she has laid out every single we want on them now.
Yeah.
It's based off of complete like opinion. There's no it's a pseudoscience.
But see, that's why I'm saying when she said education, because that's based off of learning these terms that were made up for this realm to live in.
Right.
Like, because if you say that don't make no sense, you're like, well, you're not educated.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So automatically, and you think about Jordan Peterson, what did he just go through?
Yeah, they're trying to take his license away.
Yeah. And he has to go through a re-education.
Re-education.
Yeah.
He's not doing it. He ain't doing it though.
No, he's
I don't
not
think
gonna
he
do it.
is.
He don't even need his license.
He surpassed that.
Dude, it reminds me so much of like the corporate world BS, where that becomes its own realm, and people actually. I think it's like there's so many things that have to justify your education and why it costs so much and why you have to be in student loan debt, because you learn all of these terms that then get brought into that realm. So to solidify you as an elite member of that realm, you know what I mean? Because every time I hear like Liz and her friends talking about like the inner workings of, I'm not even gonna say the company because I don't want to, you know what I mean? But like the inner workings, and it's like people, they were just telling me about how someone brought the text group to HR, and in the text group, they're sitting there putting managers' addresses and Google Map addresses in there, talking about we're going to slash our tires and all this stuff, like craziness.
Wow.
Talking about people are threatening your management, your leadership,
Right.
because they're trying to do their job. They're holding people accountable, and you want to protect them. And then they throw out these pseudo legal terms. It just reminded me of that, because it's just nonsense. And they have all these terms in place like that, like.
And you're destroying your company.
Yep.
And you don't even realize it.
Yep.
Because they don't really care about the people who work there.
They don't. They care about the brand.
Yeah.
They care about the brand.
No, they care about getting sued.
Yeah, getting sued, money.
That's what I was gonna say.
And it comes down to money.
Yeah, and the PR behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to look.
The money is the key thing.
Especially if the people that are implicated are of a certain complexion.
Right.
Because they definitely always
What type of complexion?
Well, you know, they definitely do factor that in.
Yeah. Me too. I'm just as dark as
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, we can all jump on that train, you know, if we use the intersectional points. If we use our intersectional points, we could all.
We all have barriers, right?
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Them and experience them every day.
Like what in the U.S.? Like what?
What would you like to know an example of?
I know you said that there's like barriers. I want to know what barriers.
You see how she keeps asking them this, and they can never answer.
They don't answer.
In the U.S. today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color? Let's be specific.
Here we go.
And we don't, well, no, I can't answer as a woman.
I
I'm
just feel like
not a
your
woman,
question is
right?
there are no barriers.
everybody is condescending.
Yes.
Why is it hostile?
Everybody
Her question is
offended.
Just answer her.
Like I gotta talk to you in the way I gotta talk to you that I don't know how to talk to
Right.
you. That sound to me, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a woman talking to be nicer to me. What
Right.
does that even mean?
Right.
Like, and I'm not now. Let me speak on the other side. I'm not saying that you can't
Speak
be
with-
more understanding
with tenderness
with your wife. 'Cause I am married, so
You're
I
right.
do understand that. You know, you have to love people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that they don't even know what they want.
Right.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with that, no. When is a man
offended?
When is a man gonna be like, no, this is what it is, and that's it?
Yeah. That's
That's it.
misogyny. That's misogyny. That's the patriarchy.
You're mansplaining.
Yeah.
That's another word.
Right.
Yeah. Toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Yep.
All these terms.
Oh man.
All right. Let's keep going.
Barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have
Let me go
kind
back
of
on.
hostile when you're like, there are no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have a privilege where you're not facing any friction, and that's showing. And I feel like it's
I think
like
I think as an American, you're very privileged. Like,
I mean,
I'm not ignoring that.
More
right,
like a
so-
basic level of what I mean. The feminist movement is when it comes to just being born a woman, right? Physically, pound for pound, we are born as women and we have less lean muscle mass than men. So there are issues of violence and assault and stuff like that. And so therefore, there are policies, there are things to help women physically, like, for example, I believe being able to carry a firearm and being able to use that safely to defend yourself against men who are born naturally with more muscle mass than a woman.
I feel like she came out of nowhere with that firearm thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was her
that's,
point? What did she say? That you
that's how
have to, or you
that's
can't?
how you get even.
Yeah, she's
That's
that
how you
evens
even
that
the
evens the playing
scores.
field is to give women. So because some feminists are fighting for the right for women to bear arms.
Yeah.
as a
Just
defense,
women.
as a defense mechanism against men.
She's explaining it from a domestic violence.
Yeah, or
scenario.
rape.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so I know the one man. Where's the other man?
Went live.
You like Sydney?
She's cute.
Moon like Sydney.
I was just messing with mom. I was like,
The woman that doesn't have legs.
Yeah.
Disabled woman.
Yes.
that's not nice.
No, she doesn't.
No, it's just, and it's like, see, that's my point. Like, you're seeing it totally opposite than how you could see it. You could see it like there's friction, but it's for my good.
Yeah.
Like, I was blessed to be here. God knew that when He made me.
Right. We gotta take
Oh,
you gotta take the screen down. So I just want to say, like, my mom when we were growing up,
Oh boy.
she had to overcome so many things, so many hurdles, so many obstacles from just even her childhood traumas.
Yeah.
And the fact that she never made herself a victim is the reason why we're here right now and able to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never put herself in a position of, woe is me. Oh, nobody. Oh, what are all the things? Like, you were always an overcomer. And you built up so many things in your life because of that. So that's why we don't subscribe to this whole mentality, because we had the example of the opposite growing up.
And then, know what's funny? I was just telling Jake today, remember? I said, isn't it funny? It's not funny, but growing up, when I went through the thing, the divorce and everything, and I had to take care of you guys with no vehicle, and I had to find a job. I had to go all the way to Atlantic City.
Yep.
But I said to Jake, but look how God always,
Yeah.
and another welfare and all that, they needed to. And I just struggled to get a job and struggled to,
Yeah.
And it just, thank God, it all worked out.
Yeah. I just wanted to point that out because
Thank you.
He was a fighter.
But it's an example, and it's anecdotal, but it's an example in our lives of how what we've seen. It can be the opposite of that, of what you're speaking to.
And on the other end, like, I mean, my mom made a lot of mistakes. She wasn't perfect. You know, she did a lot of wrong. But are we sitting here like pointing out the wrong things
No.
she did? No.
Yes,
It's
Simone,
about
Simone and Jamie, though.
No, we just
Only on the video.
What wrong? What's wrong?
let's not go
I'm
there
only
because it'll be.
playing. It's
No,
a
I'm just
joke.
saying. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Okay,
But
okay.
my point is that But honoring, knowing that that's why that's why you honor your parents.
Yeah.
That's why you have to honor them, because if you're focused on what they did wrong, you're gonna be a victim of that.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah.
You're a victim of that.
Yeah.
You'll never get out of that. But when you know that that was something for me when I had a conversation with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't realize, this is years ago. Obviously, he died in 2012. But my dad did a lot of stuff to us, you know?
Yeah, a couple days ago, right?
Yeah.
I think it was.
And I focused on him. I gotta let it go,
Mhm.
you know? And I gotta just forgive him.
Right.
Like, I can't hold him to a standard he didn't hold himself to.
Yeah.
Especially when it was in the past.
And also, again, on the perspective thing, like, you can always then refocus that on, but what did he do right?
Exactly.
And what
exactly.
Where were those areas where he really tried?
Yeah.
You know
That's
I mean?
what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Like, then seeing the things that he did, you know, and the same thing with mom. Like,
that's
all
what
the
honoring
stuff.
is.
Yeah. All the stuff that you did. And, you know, mom knows how many times, like, Mom, I thank you, like, just telling her, like, I thank you for doing this. I thank you for, like, even though you couldn't do it, like, I saw how this was hard for you.
Yeah.
But I thank you for all these things. And kids are resilient. Like, kids are not paying attention to all the things we think as parents that they pay attention to. They're paying attention to other things, but the things that a lot of parents care about their kid, like, oh, they gotta have this and they don't have this thing,
right.
and they don't care about that stuff,
Right.
you know, as much as we think they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because my father, you know how bad he was in every area. I'm just saying. And after all these years, the Lord started dealing with me with that, saying, but look how he grew up.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a mother. He didn't have a father. He was in the streets. So the Lord showed me that I have to have compassion for that too, even though he was not a good father. But then I had to let that go and see that that's how he grew up.
He was traumatized.
Yes.
And what does trauma do? It wants to pass that on. It's like a bacteria. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Dude, Tim Pool did a great video today about that the person that wrote that book that just got banned from schools. You know what I'm talking about? The genderqueer book.
Okay.
Where it had like the really sexual imagery that they were trying to show the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a great video today, actually, because he's like, I just actually read the book, and in the book, this person tells the story of their childhood, and they were tortured, grew up abused, like in a hippie commune, parents never around, telling stories about like peeing outside in the yard, you know, like didn't know anything about life, didn't know about boys and girls, and like they just never had no relationship with their parents and learned everything the hard way out of embarrassment. So you're traumatized, and now you're living. You don't understand, you know, boys and girls. You finally get to a point where you start getting attention because you're queer, you know what I mean? And now you want to pass that on.
Yeah.
You know, through this book. And show people like why this is better, why this is important.
And like even with this, the main thing I saw with a lot of this was that, it's easy to like throw out statistics and things and talk about how men are important and, you know, and stop feeling yourself too much.
Yeah.
But why? Why are they acting this way? What happened? Like, because that's the thing. When you get past all the like educational jargon and you really have a conversation, like if you are thrown off and don't want to have a conversation with somebody, like, and you're on the side of like you don't believe in the stuff they're saying, you won't have a conversation because it'll annoy you.
Yeah.
But if you can look past that and say, why do you think this way?
Right.
Why do you, and really get to what's happened to you in your life that causes you to feel this way? Like you can get to people's hearts, you know, and something that I told Mom today, like, a lot of people, they live in their pain.
Yeah.
Right? Like a memory, you can remember something, but there's no pain there.
Mhm.
Like you can remember something traumatic,
Mhm.
but there's no pain there.
Right.
Or you're disconnected from it. And this is proven scientifically.
Mhm.
Like when you have something to hope for and you know that although I'm going through this, I know there's something on the other side. It's been proven that those people, they overcome. It's a
Right.
whole different, the effect trauma-wise that it has on people. It's totally different.
Mhm.
So if you have joy through the pain, it's a whole different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
And most people live connected to their pain out of the heart, so the issues of life,
Mhm.
right? So when you hear all these people talking, well, most of these people talking, they're talking from the trauma, and that's why they're emotionally unstable a lot of
Mhm.
times, especially the one girl, right?
Right.
Because that's connected.
Mhm.
You know, that pain is connected.
Right.
But if they can see there's hope there, you can start to leave that pain behind.
Mm.
Because you'll literally live in your present in the past.
Yeah.
You know, there's people Mom's age still living in 1962.
Yeah.
You know,
you see them with the hairstyles.
Yeah.
I'm saying living in the place in 1962 where they went through something traumatic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I just because it always cracks me up when I see people stuck. You see them stuck in a generation.
Yeah.
Men do it too.
Yeah.
You see a man like walking down the street, and you know he was in his prime in 1985.
Yeah,
Like
you were in a rock band.
We see that all the
Yeah.
time. Not just rock band.
Especially in the music industry.
Yeah.
Engineers, musicians, like they be just stuck in one era. All right, let's keep going.
Hearing the term equity, what would a world that has equity look like? Like, would it be 50% of everyone in the same jobs? Would it be like prison, 50%?
That's equality.
50%. So,
Yeah,
what does equity look like?
So equity is generally described as a state of fairness because historically a lot of people have been arguing for equality, but what does that give us? Like 0.5 of the 1% being woman. This doesn't really do anything for us. And
You're right. That's the Kim Kardashian dude. That's what that tonal center is.
so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness. And this would mean that we remove systemic barriers to engage in society, not just for women, but also for everyone.
So which barriers?
Here we go again.
Those barriers that you don't believe in.
Look,
Yeah.
a non-barriers you don't believe in. A non-answer. Which barriers though?
What does
I
it
do.
do
Go
for
ahead.
you to have a bunch of ramps in your life? It doesn't do shit.
It's personal.
Yeah.
It's personal.
That has
That's
nothing
why-
to do with feminism.
That's why it's connected to trauma.
Yeah.
Like it's personal, you know?
Yeah.
But I want to go on like what she's saying about fair, like, because equity isn't a bad thing. We talked about this on here before.
Yeah.
But the problem with equity is that if fairness is based off of yourself, well, then that's a very skewed way to look at things.
What makes
Like-
it fair? Like, who says that's fair?
And there's a very easy way to see this, especially if you got kids, or just remember back to when you were a kid and you had other brothers and sisters, because it's easy to be like, but that's not fair, or even just to think it's not fair that they did this. But it's so easy for kids are very selfish, right? They're looking at it and internalizing it, and as parents, you gotta be like I'm not gonna treat my 9-year-old the same as my 5-year-old.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. I'm the oldest. So I was responsible for my younger siblings.
Yeah.
So it was not fair.
Right.
I got in trouble a lot for the stuff that they did.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it is fair. Because it's fair in terms of who is over you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the person that's just like God. Like we can look at so many people will be enraged with other people, but they're actually enraged with God.
Yeah.
Right? Because they think God's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, why would a God do these things?
Yeah.
Why would a God do that? Right? that's like a child that don't get what's happening around
How
them.
come he gets to have a
Yeah.
snack and I don't get to have a snack?
And if you allow that to take you to the depths of thinking on that, right, and really internalizing that, you'll create your whole world.
Right. Like, how come he gets to go to Jamaica and I don't get to go to Jamaica?
How mom left home alone.
How come?
That's what mom's talking about.
But that's just a long-standing inside joke. Because my mom took our little brother to John
boy, he has
to
to get all into
Jamaica
it.
and left us home. But again, like, yeah, we could have sat there and be like, this isn't fair. But at the end of the day, like, so what? You know what I mean?
You've been saying that to me for 20 years, so
Because it's a joke. It's just something funny. It's something funny to tease you about, but it's not like anything I ever really cared about. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go.
Right?
Can we stick to male versus female? That's my question. So I'm
Thank
thinking
you.
male
That is
versus
the
female.
question.
But
I
my
like
feminism includes ability, it includes race.
So what barrier?
Why is
I
it
just
silly?
want
The question
it's
is silly.
So, yeah, but I'm
It's
saying,
not a fair question. It's
how is it not a fair
It's
question?
kind of proving the point of what people, especially black women, other people who are anybody who's not white,
Especially black
why
women.
we hear feminism and we don't want that label because it means, I'm just gonna say, it means that. Like, it means that you've already gotten to a pinnacle of whatever you think your happiness needs or whatever your survivalist needs are when there are people on.
What is she saying? And then this one is nodding, acting like she's making sense.
But the thing is, it's like the level of presumption in this conversation, like you're presuming she's happy.
Yeah.
Like you're presuming
that she has everything all figured out and that she just has all these privileges.
And then you taking it back to yourself.
But it's only because she's asking them those questions.
Yeah. That they can't answer.
They can't answer. So they're making all this stuff up.
Yeah.
They're not getting to the answer.
Look what I can do.
Yeah, and they're mad at her. You know?
Yep.
Lower end who are trying to survive, who are trying to get to a point of what should be normal. Based on what other people have.
It sort of sounds like you're saying feminism is not always inclusive then.
Right. It's most of the time it's not inclusive. It's more times than not, it's not. So, and within the just feminism space, again, there obviously.
You see how, real quick, the inclusive thing is just another word for equity?
Yeah.
It's just another way to throw in that not fair thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
It's another one of those college terms.
Right. It's every time a lot of times when we feel like we're left out or we feel like this isn't right, this isn't fair, you can come to your own conclusions.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might not be fair.
Right.
But even in that, there's a way to see it where you can overcome it. That's why God says love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because love will cause you to no matter what, I'm going to see what's there that I can't see if I'm stuck in my own emotions about it.
Very basic is male versus female versus, but unfortunately, we've only had one subset of women be the face and voice and the academics and research and everything to be able to say, well, that's the standard we need to be in, when there are other people who are still trying to get to some type of normalcy and just living.
That's just word salad, bro.
What?
That's just word salad.
She's just tossing it.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know.
It's just not fair.
Yeah,
it's kids, man.
That's
It's
literally
kids.
what she's saying.
We talking about kids, like they're
Yeah.
kids. They're kids trying to act like they're grown-ups. See, they're literally kids. They got all the words, but they don't know the meanings.
Yeah.
They know all the fancy things to say, but they don't got no substance to
Right.
what they're saying. Kids.
Yes, they're women. What's the question?
Pearl,
Trans women are women.
Oh, this is.
So I want to come at this from the position of an athlete.
Oh, Jesus.
So I play semi-pro basketball, semi-pro volleyball. So when it comes to like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces because I don't think it's a fair. I think as female athletes, we work so incredibly hard for the little opportunity there is in women's sports.
Would this be a barrier for you?
There's no barrier. There's less opportunity in some industries.
That's what
one
a
of them.
barrier is.
There's less. It's not. No. It's
That's
based
what
on the
friction
market.
means.
Okay.
Hold on. on, guys.
Okay, so again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. We can't compete. We can't. Like, I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me.
And what happens if I go up against you?
Even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for, and you're just giving it back to biological guys. It's like this will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli, hold on.
Have you tried confidence?
Who said that?
It has nothing to do with confidence.
Wheelchair lady?
I think it was Jingles.
Sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Oh no, it was Wheelchair Lady. Yeah.
I mean,
would
first of
confidence
all-
let her beat somebody in a race? I don't think so.
To me, it's like you want her to be compassionate about you and your, but when she's telling you about the barrier,
the one thing that she brought up as a personal
as
experience,
a woman,
yeah, something that she's experienced that's not fair.
She's shitting on her.
They all do.
Wow. She's the only one makes sense.
Hold on, Minnie.
Sorry, confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches.
Bingo.
Yeah.
This can't make me
you guys
6'7".
are so hostile. She's sharing her
And confidence
experience
can't make
in
me
a
successful.
Thank you.
She's sharing, and I'd have to go.
No, she's not. She's a woman who's had an experience.
They said she's sharing. She's spreading transphobia. That's what they said.
So obsessed with your own experiences and your own existence, and yet when a woman's had an experience, you guys are so obsessed with your own experiences and your own existence, and yet when a woman is sitting here telling you, I feel as though this is unfair and this is compromising and this situation is not helping women, you guys are like, meh, meh, meh. But when you're like, I'm a black person that did this, 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 and this, then it's valid.
Eli, I want to give you the chance to respond.
You see how they cut that right off?
Yeah.
So this is basically a joke of a talking point. Everyone has biological
You're
advantages
not a
in
woman.
sports.
Get out.
How tall are you?
5'11" and a half. I'm tall.
I'm 5'8". I am a trans woman. You would crush me. You would absolutely crush
bone
me.
density, wrist strength, muscle density. You can't switch those.
Fast twitch muscle fibers. These are all biological facts.
Yeah, exactly. You would crush me.
But also, Eli, you would never play at the level that Pearl plays because you would never get there.
So let me give you a few more examples here too. So Michael Phelps produced more lactic acid in his body, which caused him to swim better than any of his competitors. This was widely celebrated. And
he didn't swim, he wasn't lapping people 3-4 times.
Right.
Like Michael Phelps was dominating,
Yeah.
He was dominating.
He wasn't ranked 200, and then when he transitioned into a woman, all of a sudden you're beating.
He's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Racing against men.
But I'm saying like that argument.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Zero.
No.
Nobody contested it. Now, this is a performance-enhancing hormone. So we all have different bodies.
But it's natural.
But how could a woman wrestle a man? Come on. That can't be.
Because they've been on 2 years of hormones.
That's enough.
They've been on 2
Puberty don't
years of
matter.
Hormones.
And your bones, you know.
Saying that trans women who aren't on hormones should participate, but there are, every major medical and every major sports organization agrees that trans women who have...
It's a lie. And a lot of the sports organizations are starting to shut that down.
Yeah.
So...
And it's like the vaccine that's not a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been tested.
Right.
It's not gone through I'm talking about the hormones.
Yes.
I'm talking about
the surgeries.
All these things through time. They're just like they're experiments.
Have you seen remember that show they had on, I forget what channel it was, that jazz person that was like 14 years old and was transitioning?
I Am Jazz.
Have you heard like the updates about like
Isn't she depressed and suicidal?
Massively overweight, depressed, suicidal.
Yeah.
Like because it didn't the surgery, I think she got bottom surgery.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And like massively depressed.
And even in terms of women, like single women, career women, it's still pretty new in terms of human beings.
Yes.
Like this is only in the last
150
years really where it's been hard because You got to think about when it's really been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I say 7. I'll give it 70.
Maybe
right?
80. Women were kind of hitting the factories during World War II, right?
Yeah, but I say after that because you really didn't. What really came into play was birth control, which
Yeah,
really didn't really hit until the 50s.
Yeah.
But this stuff wasn't. This is new.
Yeah.
It's still new. Like 70 years in terms of like, because we look at things so micro.
Yeah.
In terms of our little span of life.
Yeah, and data wise.
Yeah. But when you look at how human beings have
lived for thousands and thousands of years. Yeah.
This is. We talking about practice.
Yeah.
We talking about and I'm saying practice in a way where we're learning.
Yeah.
Like and y'all want to go out there and do some crazy stuff that'll get you killed.
Right.
Right? You want to go out there, you don't even know how to dribble a ball.
Right.
And you want to go out in the street
Right.
where the cars are and shoot hoops.
Right.
Like you playing in traffic.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, man.
And then you want to be like everybody come play in traffic.
Yeah.
No. You can go play in traffic. We'll be over here on the sidewalk.
Hormones for between 1 and 3 years, depending on the organization, have the same competitive abilities.
The study that you're referencing had like 7 people participating.
That's misinformation, by the way. I'm
That is not
referencing several different studies. I'm a trans woman and a researcher.
It's getting personal. I don't want it to be personal.
So
It's
again,
been that's the first time she said that. It's been personal.
No, listen. Sydney in her video breakdown, because I did watch that.
Yeah, because that didn't make no sense right
She
there.
said that you'll notice that edit made no sense because they all went in and started like calling both of them names and getting crazy. So they edited all that out and just put that there.
Wow.
Because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating because when we try to talk about it, we get shouted down.
That's
like a demon.
sorceress. That is like, look at that face. Look at that face. It's like, yo.
We haven't heard from her.
Yeah.
So there's hostility there for plenty of women.
Let's try to make this an opportunity to speak.
You're
with
literally a
each
white
other
woman from
then.
Australia. You live in a bubble and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
That's why they have the voice, because they speak up.
Yes, they're women.
There you go.
I spoke her into existence.
The wig spoke. Yeah. That was completely unhinged. And from Sydney's words, she said that right before that cackling, she went completely nuts, and they edited all that out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell. Like,
Yeah.
The stuff she's saying is just like nonsensical.
Yeah.
And they think they have a right. It's like on the playground, you know.
Bro,
Yeah, it really
I want to see the men that they're with.
I'm gonna go ahead and say there's a 90% fail rate up there on that panel. 90% fail rate. Man.
Jeez.
Listen.
That was.
Imagine you didn't. That was only part of it.
With that,
You didn't watch the whole thing. That was only part of it, bro.
Thank you guys for watching that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yowzers.
Let me see. Okay, so you sent me some stuff. These are YouTube shorts. So this is a clip from Joe Rogan.
He almost gets knocked out. As this guy is mauling him, he goes like this.
So your
My
boyfriend was-
like this.
You didn't like it?
No.
Did it turn you off?
Oh my God, so much.
That was
And he
tap,
was a
tap, tap,
great
first couple of
boyfriend. He was
nails.
great.
He was a great boyfriend, but I still dumped his ass anyway because he was not the winner. I hung out at the finish line and I picked a different winner. Women don't.
So he's wrong in that he submitted. You know what I'm saying? Like he was scared. He was afraid. The posture that she saw her and he lost. It was the way he lost.
fight.
And immediately
out
he's
here
not
like,
no chump. Yeah. Fact that, you know what I mean? So, you know.
I will subscribe. Keep up the good work. They're fighting side by side with the Lions.
All right.
Have a blessed night.
Is he a bear? Like, Remember?
I thought that.
You think that?
Yeah.
Is he
I
a
thought-
bear like one of the bears? Like,
Yeah.
is he a bear? That would be interesting if he was.
Yeah.
So the next clip we have is from Just Printer is like the prime example.
I have no idea who she is.
So she's the Instagram model that got pregnant by PJ Washington, and
Oh, that's the girl. Yeah, I heard you talking about her.
yes,
How to get like a
yeah, she was doing all these Instagram videos about like how to bag a MBA. It's like she has a long way to go, but she did a whole video on her own Instagram after this about the 5 reasons why I'm
right? So
there's a little bit of language in this one.
what the fuck comes next? Because that's where I'm confused, right? Because I'm not. It's like if you don't, if it's not like gifted to you, like even in your situation, like your dad provided you a life that like so many people would kill for, like you know what I mean? So that's why it's like. It sucks because the reason I hate these conversations is because it's never about like empathy. Do I understand the scales and how someone may view you for this, that, and the third? Okay, but moving forward, then what? So okay, so I'm just gonna, like I said, make it about myself. I have people like you. Or, she's a hoe. She's this. She's literally known for this. Okay.
Like, what are you talking about?
So what would be your advice to people like me then?
But I don't believe in grey area. I believe black and white. So
Okay,
I'm
well
just
that's
different.
unfortunate because
You know
there's
what,
gray.
I don't believe in
I'll
grey
tell you
area.
what.
There's gray. There's gray in life.
You know what?
To answer, wait, I'm going to
Go on.
answer your
Let her
question.
answer
I mean, I just think there's consequences for your decisions. And I just think, like, my best advice would be to, like, lower your standards. Like that. Because I just think there's going to be consequences for putting, you know, promiscuous stuff on the internet.
Okay.
And you probably won't get the type of guy that you could have got at 22.
Do you know what,
21.
sister?
It wasn't meant to be then.
Like,
How long is this clip?
I don't know. It's pretty long. It's like 7 minutes. I don't.
Yeah. A man, like, right? Because you're not willing to look at people and humble yourself at how you look at people, but you want people to humble themselves and how they look at you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go both. It doesn't go one way.
Yeah.
You have to. It has to go both ways, and that's why we need. That's why Jesus is he's literally the equalizer, because he shows us. How can somebody have if you don't forgive? I think that's the most important thing. You know, I think that's why I put that up, because you see stuff from like, there's this matter of fact, like, well, yeah, lower your standard and you just got to deal with the consequences of what you did in your life, which is in one sense true, but in another sense is that with God, somebody could see value where nobody else saw value.
Yeah.
Because there's hope in Christ.
Right.
But a lot of people, they don't want that because they don't
No.
understand what that even means.
And they won't go there for that value. All right. Pull this up, Moan, if you can. Yeah.
Why didn't women have the right to vote? Women, so historically, men had to go to war and fight. That is why women couldn't vote, was because if you had the choice today in 2022 and we were in war and you had to go fight on the front lines, would you pick it? Personally, and this is where people take me out of context and say I don't think women should vote. Personally, if I in 2022 had the choice where I had to go fight in the front lines just like the men in a war, or I could give up my right to vote, I would give up my right to vote. And that's what happened back then, is they equated voting with going to war. So remember, but why?
Okay.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because we don't think of that side.
In the day when there was a lot of
Yeah.
war. Like, I read that whole thing. Did you hear that thing I read last show?
Yeah.
About all the stuff that someone experienced that was born in 1900? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And yeah, so think about that. Like, how much, especially for men,
Yeah.
how much you have to sacrifice.
Yep.
How much you have to lay down your life,
Mhm.
like, for your country.
Right.
Like,
And to be honest with you, like, I don't think women should ever be on the front lines. I think
No,
that
me either.
that is a complete, like, wrong move. Women are not meant to be out there. Women are to be protected, and it's a liability to the other men out there.
yeah. And so like, when you hold that standard of voting there, it makes it more, it doesn't devalue it.
Right.
But when anybody can just vote if you're a certain age,
yeah,
like
it's totally devalued.
It's devalued,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that it should go back to that,
right?
But what I am saying is that what we got now is that all people got to do is convince you of the things that you like.
And look,
you know,
and they even trying to take that one step further. All they got to
Right.
do is send a mail-in ballots to your house. Your mom fills out all.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Like
Your mom that
they
works
trying to
on The
take that
View.
even further.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, eventually it's going to be on your phone.
Right,
Like, all
right.
you got to do is just hit yes.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I've said that, like, technology-wise, like, you know, they can do the face thing.
Yeah.
I feel like they can create something, like a nice little app.
But they don't want to do that.
That's what I'm saying. They don't
Yeah.
want to do that. Like, you know how the face recognition thing that you to open like a bank account or whatever
Yeah.
like that. You can do that with voting.
I feel
you know,
like
that's better than the paper, and then anybody can just.
I think that the Democrats have realized and figured out that with all of the systems they have in place, indoctrination camp wise, with the media, with schools, with college, with everything, that all the institutions they have in place, Hollywood, what you name it, social media, TikTok, all they got to do is get people to vote because they know that their vote is a lock for them.
And that's why,
especially young people, I meant to say, like the younger, that's why they're pushing for 16-year-olds to vote.
Right. And that's why we have to, number one, we have to have hope for this younger generation coming up, right? And we have to hold that standard. We have to raise the standard. We can't accept people to just be nonchalant about these things anymore. Because if you don't care, they don't care.
Right.
If your generation don't care, why would the next generation care? They gonna care less.
And I think that's like a lot of the things that we're waking up to. I think a lot of, especially like black men in this generation now, because I mean, all of our parents, grandparents, it was like vote Democrat no matter what. That's just what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think this generation is starting to wake up from that. Like, wait a minute. Like, let me. Why are we doing this? Let me look into this a little bit. Let me figure some things out for my own. And a lot of people have been like, nah, not doing that.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. This is the ex-LGBT activist thing.
Yes, I was a passionate LGBT activist because I bought into the oppressive narrative. I like I'm a failed opera singer. I like theatres. I like musicals. I actually have a kind of cultural persona that makes me look like I might be gay. And, I had a lot of gay friends, and I felt very strongly for them, and I wanted to protect them. So for a while, I too was very much in favour of gay marriage until
marriage project.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's an experiment, man. And we like that quick. We think it's normal.
Yeah.
How many people are like, no, it should be gay marriage.
Yeah.
How many people think this stuff is normal, but they're not looking at it from the right scale? They're scaling it as, I saw it on TV.
Yeah.
They put it in front of me enough on TV.
That's the next move that you're seeing of that all the time.
P word?
Yeah. Story hours, these drag shows, these family-friendly drag shows, and all on TV. You're seeing all these weird things, cuties, all these things. They're slowly introducing so that you do, at a certain point, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 years from now, it's like, oh, no, that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Grooming.
It's grooming, 100%. Exactly.
it turned out that lesbian relationships were the most violent and unstable of all relationships. We have this from Scandinavian
That's
research.
facts.
People
It's
who think this is
statistically correct.
Slipped in homophobia. My gay friends in my university town who came to talk over their woes with me said, well, you know, I'm in a stable, faithful, monogamous gay relationship, but I wish he wouldn't sleep away 8 times a month. The maximum is 4. For about 10 or 15 years, I was a passionate...
Wow.
Women have a problem. We're always together. They both...
Right.
That's why it sets a foundation. But if you pervert that, he's going to try to make a woman happy. That never happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that, like, it's just crazy to me. Like, 2 women get together, the most violent relationship.
Yeah, I've seen so many news stories just recently, over the last couple months, of lesbian couples like one of them shooting the other one, ending up dead, bodies missing, like crazy stories. And I never really knew this until I started looking into it.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people that have lesbian relationships, and yeah, it's always like violent or ends really bad and crazy.
Yeah.
Because when you have like two people who are very out of control emotionally, which is why you get in those positions in the first place. A lot of times, you have nothing to balance you out. And then on the other end, he said that, like, and then the other end with men, it's
they won't be monogamous
because a lot of times, like with that, it's about sex. It's about perverted sex,
right?
So
and fulfilling that desire,
it's lust.
Yeah,
it's crazy how like with love can be fulfilled, but desire, but lust can't.
Yeah, it's unquenchable.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, let's keep going. Got a couple more clips.
Okay, fine, that sucks, but also women with low self-esteem are more promiscuous. No father families more likely to be victims of abuse. Justice system. Okay, another way to say that is men and women who are incarcerated, the population of the prisons mostly encompass fatherless homes. Now here's something that no one else has mentioned, which I think is cool, and I don't really say this eloquently. If a man and wife raise a child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same statistical chance as children raised by just their father. So if we want to keep children, adults, out of prison, mother, father, or just father. Well, we don't want to hear just father, so let's try to keep the families intact. I think that just seems better. Girls with
I've heard that statistic many times. Of course, the red pill point that out all the time.
Yeah, right.
That a child that's raised by just a father does way better than just a mother. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
That versus respect. I mean, I see with my son.
Yeah, I mean,
how,
go ahead.
No, just how he tries to get over.
Right.
With his mom. I don't deal with that.
There's something about the discipline. Like, I'm sure in other areas the child might be lacking with just the father. You know what I mean? But when it comes to discipline and maybe like keeping them on that path to not be in jail, like that's just one aspect of life. You know what I mean? It's a huge one. But I'm sure there's other places where not having that mother, they are deficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, like for men, I think for women, men balance out women, women balance out men. Men balance out women in a way where they get caught up in just one way of focusing.
Yeah.
And like they don't see anything else, but because they know they gotta drive and get this thing done.
Right.
And then women can be like, yeah, but you're missing this over here, or you're missing this over here. And so they balance each other out. The problem is when women raise men, and there's no man at all, men become out of control emotionally. That's why they become more violent. They become it's easier for them to go and be, yeah, that does make sense. Let me go do this, or
triggered.
Let me join this gang. Let me join this weird group of this cult. You know what I mean? Let me join this Antifa.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, and even that Antifa thing, there was something that. Did you see that?
What?
There was a study with a lot of these guys that were in Antifa that a lot of them
they were all runaways, right?
They come from single parent homes.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you look into it more, it's probably single parent.
All right, let's keep going.
63% of youth suicides, are from single mother homes. 90% of homelessness and runaway children are from single mother homes.
You can't put that on the mother.
85% of children who show behavioral disorders are from single mother homes. 80% of rapists with anger problems are from single mother homes. 71% of high school dropouts are from single mother homes. 70% of youths in operated institutions are from single mother homes. 80% of all the youths that are in prison are from single mother homes.
So how are you going to blame the woman then? Well, he didn't blame guys. Why is your immediate reaction?
Yeah, they take it personally.
Yeah.
And it's
So
like, no,
personal.
it's not personal. We have to understand. Get caught up in.
Yeah.
But if a man loves a woman, like, look, I'm not blaming you. I'm showing you.
Another one on single motherhood. Here we go.
Single motherhood has been around for a long time. It really hasn't. This is a new concept, and they use marketing campaigns to get you to accept it. 1950s, 5%. Not a lot of children born to unwed mothers. We get to 2012, we're almost dang near half.
Dang.
Some communities, 70% of the children born to unwed mothers. Right
said some
now, is your kid from 0 to 18. The systems are already in place for you to not be in that home. So what does that lead to? Kids that grow up without a father, 4 times as much to be moved in another man. Child obesity. Are we seeing this today? 2 times as likely to suffer from obesity. 73% of the prison inmates were raised in single parent household.
Yeah.
I just like that one because it brought
But what got implemented?
a bunch of stuff.
But mostly like you were saying,
Birth control,
Planned Parenthood, and welfare programs.
Yep.
All of that incentivized women to make government their daddy, their husband.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a
and like
term.
Mom said earlier, like she said it never entered into her mind to go on welfare. And I was saying like, yeah, because the moment you like even think about it and you start taking that on, mind starts even thinking, and it's like, okay, we're dealing with this, but we can figure it out. Let's work it out. It's that push. A man's gonna push you where a woman is gonna be more empathetic. You know, a man's gonna push your kids. Your kids will be pushed where a woman is like, oh, you're pushing too hard. Which sometimes you need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need that from a woman to be like, yeah, you need to calm down a little bit. Okay, you're right. The balance thing.
Balance. Go Birds.
Yeah, to throw that Eagles in play. You know.
Yeah, you know, just a little first round bye.
Just in case you didn't know.
National champion.
Yeah, you know.
And after seeing all that, what comes to the forefront? The Lord.
The Lord.
Seriously, the Lord. Yeah. Like if they had the Lord, they would understand more, and they would try to, not act like it's all about them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can think you have the Lord.
That's
we
true.
know that too, but
because a lot of these people are Christians. There's a lot of single mothers in the church.
Yeah. And feminism,
feminism
but you know what I mean.
Is real
do
in
they
there.
really know the Lord?
And feminism in the church. Baby.
Yes, there's a lot of people that goes to church and say they're Christians, but I'm talking about the ones that are really seeking God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we're trying to motivate people to do that, to really seek God and really, cultivate a new culture that doesn't allow those things to infect, because those things are diseases, man.
Yeah. And also, like, humble yourself if you don't know.
Yeah.
Look at people who know.
Yeah.
Like, communities are built off of that.
Yeah.
You look at the breakdown of society is everybody wants to think or act like they know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Don't tell me nothing. If you tell me something, mind your business.
Yeah.
Like, that's a breakdown in culture.
It's a breakdown in community, period. Yeah. Like, we're talking about the 1950s, man. Everybody in the neighborhood had the right to grip up your child. You know what I mean? If they were, or at least discipline them in some way if they were acting up.
Hey, when I was in school, they used to hit us with rulers.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little crazy, but
that never hit me.
That Catholic church system, a lot of those people.
I wasn't in Catholic church.
Catholic school, I meant.
I wasn't in Catholic school.
No,
I was in public school.
Yeah, public school,
they did that.
Public school, they was smacking you like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy, because then you have teachers that are just jaded, and just the kids annoy them, and they just want to be smacking kids. Like that's different.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's wrap up, guys.
Who's putting them in charge? Like, real quick.
Yeah.
That's why it's not about going back to something. It's about looking in the past and taking the things that were done right, but making them better. You know, honoring the past, but bringing it to the future. Like when you leave a good inheritance for your kids, you don't want your kids to just keep it. You don't want them to lose it, but you don't want them to just keep it. You want them to expand it.
Right.
You know,
They don't honor it anymore, man. They want to erase it.
well, it takes us honoring it, and then more people will.
Yeah. And if you want to honor it, don't be afraid to
slide right in.
don't be afraid to join our Patreon and really become a part of this community, the Young Lion community, the pride. You can enter the pride of the Young Lions by joining our Patreon and becoming a member. Now, we have little incentives that we're working on. We're definitely going to be revealing. If you come in onto the page, the Young Lion page, and all the people that are constantly on there, let's really form something. Let's really start something where we can all lean on each other and build a community. But yeah, we have the Patreon with the different tiers if you want to go on there and you just check it out. Also, we have the merch store. You know, we got the little merch that you guys can cop if you want to get the Young Lion apparel that we're working on new designs for right now. But all of that just goes to supporting what we're doing, helping us with equipment and helping us just build this thing up. We're really going to start marketing and promoting the Young Lion cause. But yeah, we thank you guys for watching. You could bring that down, Mom, please. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. And
Somebody's not getting out.
you just clicking. You just clicking away. Just clicking away over there.
I'm clicking to get that.
You got to click on cameras, Mom.
I am.
Click on cam.
Dang, it opens up.
okay.
I'm looking at the bottle.
Oh, yeah. The water bottle.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Shout out to y'all for watching, man. Make sure on your way out you hit that like button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Peace.
Young Lion, go live, yeah. Young Lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go and fight people in.